If you've ever experienced someone leaving your life, ignoring you, or suddenly pulling away without explanation, and then returning unexpectedly, you already know the confusion, the mixed emotions, the longing, and the constant questions that run through your mind. You start wondering, why did they leave? Why did they ignore me? And now why are they back? It's a cycle that can hurt deeply, but there is a reason, a single, undeniable reason why people who leave often return, and understanding it can change how you view yourself, your relationships, and your worth. You see, when someone comes back after ignoring you, it's not always about them realizing your value or suddenly missing you like a romantic storybook would have you believe. It's far deeper than ego, pride, or superficial attraction. It's about connection, unfinished emotional business, and a subconscious pull toward the people who matter to them at a soul level, whether they admit it or not. Many people fail to understand that human relationships are never as simple as logic or convenience. They operate on an emotional, sometimes spiritual wavelength that even the most rational minds cannot fully control. When a person ignores you, it's often because they are dealing with their own fears, insecurities, or unresolved issues, not because they don't care or because they want to erase you from their life entirely. Ignoring someone is, in a way, a coping mechanism, a defense, or a pause that they subconsciously take to process their feelings, their mistakes, or their own emotional limitations. And when they return, it's because something inside them has shifted, matured, or simply cannot deny the truth that they still have a connection with you, a bond that was never truly broken even when distance, silence, or avoidance made it feel like it was. You might be asking yourself right now, but why me? Why now? Why after all this time? And the answer is this: it's not about timing according to calendars or plans. It's about timing according to hearts and minds, and sometimes life has a way of aligning things when we least expect it. Often, the person who comes back has experienced their own journey of realization. They have understood, through absence and reflection, that no other person, no other relationship, no distraction, could fill the space you hold in their heart. When they ignored you before, it might have been due to confusion, fear, pride, or the inability to express vulnerability, but absence makes the heart realize what truly matters, and it awakens a longing that is undeniable and persistent. This is why, when they return, they often do so with a different energy, not the same uncertainty, not the same hesitation, but a clarity that is rooted in experience, reflection, and sometimes regret. They come back because, consciously or subconsciously, they recognize that a connection like yours is rare, that someone who has touched their heart in a meaningful way cannot simply be erased or replaced, and that ignoring you before was a mistake, a pause in their growth, or a necessary journey that ultimately led them back to you. It's important to understand that this return is rarely about manipulation or testing you. It is about realization. When someone comes back, they are acknowledging something profound about your presence, your impact, and the way you made them feel, whether they had the maturity to express it before or not. And while it may be tempting to immediately accept them back, to rush into the familiar comfort of their presence, the true lesson here is in understanding your own value, your own worth, and the boundaries you hold. When someone returns after ignoring you, it is also a test of how much you have grown during the time they were absent, how much patience you have cultivated, how much self-love you have nurtured, and how clear you have become about what you deserve. This is the hidden power of someone coming back. It's not just about them realizing your worth, it's about you realizing your own strength, your resilience, and your ability to navigate emotional storms with dignity and self-respect. Think of it like this: absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder. It gives both parties a chance to see clearly, to reflect, to understand the weight of their actions, and to measure the depth of their emotions. And when someone returns, it is often because their soul cannot ignore what their mind might have tried to rationalize away. They feel a gravitational pull toward what is real, authentic, and irreplaceable. But here is a truth that most people overlook. Just because someone comes back does not automatically mean everything will go back to the way it was. Returning is the first step, a recognition of connection. But sustaining that connection requires honesty, communication, and emotional maturity that may not have been present the first time around. When they ignored you before, it was not always about lack of love. It could have been about fear of commitment, fear of vulnerability, fear of confronting the emotions they were not ready to handle. And now, after time apart, they return either because they have confronted those fears, because life has shown them the void that you uniquely fill, or because they cannot deny that some bonds are too strong to remain broken. This is why, in relationships, timing is everything. Sometimes people are simply not ready, not because they don't care, but because they need to grow, to learn, and to see what truly matters before they can return with clarity and intention. And while their return can stir old emotions, confusion, longing, hope, skepticism, the key is in understanding that their actions, and not just their words, reveal the true reason they are back. A person returns after ignoring you because they have reached a point of self-awareness where they realize that your presence was a mirror for their own growth, that losing you or being distant from you taught them lessons about love, patience, and emotional depth, and that ultimately, no distraction, no other connection, no superficial fulfillment can replace the unique bond they shared with you. And yet, while this may sound like a romantic notion, it is grounded in psychology, in the human tendency to reflect on absence, and in the emotional mechanisms that draw people back to what they cannot forget. You see, our brains are wired to notice significance, attachment, and emotional resonance. When someone has experienced your presence deeply, even when they attempt to ignore it, their subconscious mind keeps a record, a ledger of emotional investment, moments shared, conversations, laughter, vulnerability, and intimacy. And when the surface-level distractions fade or fail to replace what you uniquely brought into their life, they are drawn back. Not just out of longing, but out of necessity, out of a deep psychological and emotional alignment that says, this connection is worth returning to. This is why people who come back after ignoring you often act differently. They are more intentional, more cautious, more aware of your impact, and more appreciative of what they previously took for granted. Their return is a signal, not of perfection, but of recognition. It is proof that some bonds are too significant to ignore, too impactful to erase, and too valuable to abandon indefinitely. And while you may feel fear, hesitation, or skepticism, it is essential to remember that their return is not a test of your patience, but a mirror reflecting your own worth, resilience, and ability to navigate emotional complexity. When someone comes back, they bring with them the lessons they have learned in your absence, the realization of what they lost, the clarity of what they truly want, and sometimes the humility to approach the relationship with a fresh perspective, free of past mistakes and misunderstandings. But this also comes with a responsibility. You must recognize the difference between a return born of true reflection and one born out of loneliness, guilt, or convenience. The authentic return comes when their presence is purposeful, their intentions are transparent, and their actions consistently align with the acknowledgement of your value. It is not enough for them to merely show up. They must demonstrate understanding, commitment, and a willingness to engage in the relationship in a way that respects both your growth and their own journey. And in this process, the most profound truth emerges. The reason a person comes back after ignoring you is rarely about manipulation or chance. It is about the undeniable pull of human connection, the natural law of emotional resonance, and the lessons that both hearts must learn before a bond can truly flourish. It is about unfinished emotional business, soul-level alignment, and the recognition that some connections are destined to endure beyond fear, avoidance, and temporary absence. So, if you are facing the return of someone who once ignored you, take a moment to breathe, to reflect, and to honor both your own journey and theirs. Understand that their return is a chance to rewrite the narrative, to build with intention, and to approach the relationship with clarity, boundaries, and emotional intelligence. The reason they are back is simple yet profound. Because some connections cannot be broken, because the heart remembers what the mind may have tried to forget, and because life has a way of guiding people back to what they cannot replace. And in this return there is hope, there is understanding, and there is the opportunity for both parties to emerge stronger, wiser, and more connected than before, with the realization that ignoring someone temporarily does not erase the depth of a meaningful bond, and that coming back is often the soul's way of acknowledging what the heart has always known. When someone returns after ignoring you, it's important to recognize that their return is not just about them. It's also a reflection of your energy, your presence, and the emotional space you've held even in their absence, because the truth is, people come back when they feel the void that only you can fill, when no distraction, no other attention, no casual connection can replicate the feelings, the understanding, or the unique resonance that existed between you two. And it is at this moment that you realize the subtle but undeniable law of human connection. Absence does not diminish importance, it magnifies it, and what was once taken for granted is now seen through the lens of reflection, longing, and sometimes regret, which is why the timing of their return is never random but deeply tied to their internal journey, their recognition of mistakes, their realization of what they truly want, and their inability to ignore the emotional truth that has always lingered beneath the surface. And this is why so many people misinterpret returns as casual, as trivial, or as a game, when in reality, it is a profound acknowledgement that some bonds, no matter how strained, no matter how temporarily broken, cannot be dismissed or replaced because they are rooted in authenticity, shared experiences, vulnerability, and the kind of emotional intimacy that the human heart recognizes instinctively. And this is also why your reaction matters more than you think, because how you respond, how you value yourself, and how you allow yourself to engage with their return will set the tone for everything that follows. Because if you approach it from a place of desperation, neediness, or fear, you risk diminishing your own worth and the significance of the connection. But if you approach it from clarity, self-awareness, and an understanding of the lessons that absence has taught both of you, then their return becomes not just an event but a transformational moment, a chance for both parties to re-establish communication with honesty, intention, and emotional integrity, which is why those who return after ignoring often bring with them a new perspective, a recognition of the importance of boundaries, and sometimes even humility, because time away provides insight, and insight shifts the way they value not only you but the way they approach relationships in general. And it is this shift that makes the return meaningful, because it is no longer about impulsive feelings, superficial attachment, or ego-driven decisions, but about awareness, emotional intelligence, and the desire to correct, to nurture, and to honor what was once ignored. And when you understand this, you realize that their return is not merely a chance to rekindle old feelings, but a mirror reflecting your own journey, showing you the strength you have built, the patience you have cultivated, and the clarity you have gained about what you truly deserve, which is why the return of someone who once ignored you is simultaneously a gift and a test. A gift because it brings with it the possibility of renewed connection, and a test because it challenges you to maintain your standards, to honor your growth, and to ensure that the bond is rebuilt on a foundation of respect, understanding, and mutual recognition. And it is this delicate balance that often determines whether the relationship can evolve into something healthier, deeper, and more meaningful, or whether it will repeat past mistakes, misunderstandings, and emotional turbulence, which is why it is so crucial to observe their actions carefully, not just their words, because words can be hollow, promises can be fleeting, and intentions can be unclear, but consistent behavior, genuine effort, and emotional transparency reveal the truth behind their return. And as you watch their behavior, you begin to notice patterns. The way they prioritize your feelings, the way they communicate without defensiveness, the way they acknowledge past mistakes, and the subtle signs that they are committed to doing better, to being present, and to valuing the connection in a way that they could not before. And this awareness allows you to make conscious decisions, to approach the relationship with discernment, and to understand that the reason they came back is not just about rekindled attraction or loneliness, but about recognition, respect, and the unspoken understanding that what exists between you is rare, significant, and worth the effort to rebuild consciously. And this is why patience is key, because emotional timing cannot be rushed, because healing takes time, and because genuine change is reflected in sustained actions, not impulsive gestures. And when you hold on to this perspective, you are not merely reacting to their return, you are responding from a place of strength, self-respect, and clarity, which is exactly what makes your relationship resilient and meaningful in the long term, because it transforms a moment of uncertainty into an opportunity for emotional growth, mutual understanding, and the reaffirmation of the bond that neither absence nor ignoring could ever truly sever. And ultimately, this is the profound truth behind why people come back after ignoring. It is never about randomness, convenience, or superficial desire. It is about the undeniable magnetic pull of emotional resonance, the recognition of irreplaceable value, and the alignment of hearts that cannot be denied, even in the face of distance, silence, or temporary separation. And once you understand this, once you see the depth of their return, you are empowered to navigate the situation with confidence, to honor your feelings, and to ensure that the connection that has been restored is one that is not only meaningful but sustainable, nurturing, and transformative, because the reason they return was always about the bond that existed, and it is now up to both of you to honor it with wisdom, care, and conscious attention.